Welcome back to Memorial Stadium, where the 2016 state championship action is rolling. Our 3A game is up next, and that sets up the undefeated IC Catholic Knights and the Carlinville Cavaliers. Here in the studio, I am Annie Costabile alongside the edgy Tim. Tim, this game, what has Carlinville got to do to keep IC in check?
They've got to use their offense, control the ball, and make their offense possibly be their best defense in this ball game.
All right, well, Dave Bernhardt and Chris Highland are up in the booth to give you all of that action. We'll send it up to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Annie. Great to have you with us here high atop Memorial Stadium. Dave Bernhardt along with Chris Highland. Let's take a look at how these teams got here in this Class 3A bracket. Of course, the northern part of the bracket, that was IC Catholic. On the south side, it was Carlinville that made their way up to the top. And here is the path that these teams used to get here to Champaign. For IC Catholic, big wins all the way through, the 48-6 win over Monticello. And for Carlinville, a little bit tougher road. They had to work their way through. They ground their way through this 3A bracket. And Chris, you know, you take a look at the games leading up to this particular moment, but even really for the entire season, a couple of teams, 25-1 combined, they have been battle tested.
Absolutely. For IC Catholic, the turning point in their season really came in week 2. They beat a very good Bishop Mack team in week 1, and then in week 2 beat another very good St. Lawrence team, and they have been rolling ever since. And for Carlinville, these seniors really wanted to be 9-0 in the regular season. They couldn't get it done. They lost to Pana, but they kind of wrote the ship, and they're here one win away from a state championship.
This is an IC Catholic team that can roll up points, and it all starts with a quarterback, Luke Rickabine.
Yeah, he is a fantastic player, an all-stater, Luke Rickabine. The offense runs through him. They say they don't have to do a whole lot of game planning. They just let him go on game day. He is certainly a very special talent.
Well, the game plan for Carlinville will be hand the ball to Jacob Dixon, and why not?
Jacob Dixon, an all-stater for Carlinville. I mean, he's got 7 touchdowns in a game this year. He broke the school record for yards and TDs set last year. I mean, this is just a talented kid. Also plays a lot on defense at strong safety. He's going to be a force on both sides of the ball.
We're just about set here. 3A football from Champaign, University of Illinois. We've already crowned 2 state champions. Carlinville IC Catholic coming your way next.
Back at Memorial Stadium, our 3A championship matchup just about to take place. What is going to be a key for Carlinville in order to compete with this tough IC Catholic
Well,
team?
again, you've got to get Jared Dixon going, run the football, don't ever get it back, value every possession.
And now on the other end, what does IC have to do in order to just do exactly what they've done all year, which is win?
Shock and awe. You want to start from the beginning, hit them with the pass, hit them with the run, get Carlinville's defense back on their heels.
A very well-coached team, an IC Catholic prep, a tough Carlinville. That is all coming up next, just after this break.
You have to go back to 2008, the last time either one of these 2 teams made the state finals. That year, IC Catholic won the state championship, matching the one they won in 2002. For Carlinville, this is the first time back in a championship game since 1993. Also finished second in 1978. Great to have you with us here. Memorial Stadium, University of Illinois with Chris Highland. I'm Dave Bernhardt. Carlinville won the toss. They defer. They will be in those blue jerseys. IC will receive the north end of this stadium. Not much wind to be had here. What there is, a cross breeze. Deep for IC, it will be Lazarick Eatman and Jordan Rowell. And Carlinville does not want either one of them to touch the ball. And the Knights will have good field position. They'll start at their own 42-yard line, 9-yard return on that kickoff. And there is number 3, we just talked about him, Luke Rickabine.
He's a special talent. You see right there, he's thrown for over 2,200 yards, a very good touchdown to interception ratio. He's the one that makes this offense go. Yes, he has an all-state running back right next to him in Jordan Rowell, but both of these guys are very, very dangerous in the backfield.
You know, both Rickabine and Rowell average over 13 yards per carry. They will strike quickly to the near side. It's Rowell with the stiff arm. Offensively, for IC Catholic, they average over 50 points per ball game. There it is. We talked about Rickabine and Rowell. Matt Sutton, good wide receiver. A couple of Saunders twins, along with Brendan Russ in that offensive line, led by Jimmy Keneally, Dylan Packer, Keemon Reese, Robert Vitek. They'll make things happen here to the near side once again. Another first down, 2 plays 2 first downs. The Carlinville defense this year giving up 14.5 points per game. Jake Hanning, Simons, and Rogers there up front along with Nate Thompson. Keep an eye out for number 87, Brady Eaglehoff. He is all over the field. You see Jacob Dixon, number 21. He'll go both ways along with his brother, Kyle Dixon. The pitch to Rowell. He will wait on a block. It will never come. Ricky Misselwick was out in front. A great penetration from that Carlinville defense, led by number 25, Dylan Chisholm.
That's the other man you got to look out for on this Carlinville defense. Dylan Chisholm, he can run sideline to sideline at middle linebacker. He's going to rack up a lot of tackles today. He's going to spy Jordan Rowell in the backfield, and he is a very, very good defender for Carlinville.
That is his 14th tackle for a loss this season. First pass of the day from Rickabeen. Into the end zone, and a leaping grab, touchdown. Matt Sutton. Talk about somebody laying out for the ball, 36 yards and a score.
What a throw by Luke Rickabeen. Great touch on that ball. He's got a very good arm, does Rickabeen. You see him set his feet here. He looks off the defenders, and then he goes to one-on-one coverage down the right side. And Matt Sutton is there with an unbelievable catch. You know, Sutton and Rickabeen have been playing together since they were in 5th grade. You see the connection right there between the two.
And now Sutton will have it, and the pitch to Rowell looking for 2. And they'll have it. A quick 8 points. 4 plays, 58 yards. Throw on a 2-point conversion, and just like that, I see the Knights lead it 8-0 here in your 3A championship game. As they have done all year, I see the Knights 13-0. They strike quickly. The combination of Rickabeen with number 5 right there. Matt Sutton. Sutton catching his 8th touchdown pass of the year. Rickabeen throwing his 28th of the season. And now we'll be up to Carlinville with only 51 seconds off the clock. They need to hold on to the ball to keep that IC offense off the field.
Yeah, they're going to rely on that running game. They're going to rely on Dixon, but you have to answer if you are Carlinville. You can't let this game get away from you too early. But I have a feeling that the Cavaliers will come out strong with that run game.
A couple of Dixons back deep to receive this kick from Sam Buffo. And again, nobody wants to challenge a deep man. That's a live ball. And it will be IC football. Number 19 for IC Catholic is James Litton. He gets the recovery, and IC back in business.
Looked to be some miscommunication between Carlinville on that kick return. You see there that one of the up men decides that he's going to go try and throw a block before that ball got to the deep man there. It was one of the Dixon brothers. It's tough to see. It's right there. Yeah. You just can't get up to it, Jacob Dixon. He can't get to that ball. If you're the up man, you've got to take control of that play and go after that football.
Khalil Saunders almost picked it and went all the way. Touchdown pass. This time, it will go to number 22, Lazarick Eatman, 28 yards, and just like that, it is 14-0, 1 minute into this game.
This IC Catholic offense is certainly high-powered. They've scored 50 points 6 times this year. They put up 72 also this year. I mean, this is a team that can score early and often. Their team motto is we want to score fast, and they have certainly done that early on in this game. Just 1 minute in, and we're already at 14-0.
Lazarick Eatman with that touchdown catch now sets it up for the extra point from Sam Buffo. And somehow that gets through. That may be the ugliest extra point you will ever see. It counts for 1, and it gives IC the 15-0 lead.
When you're in the state championship, Dave, it doesn't matter how it goes through the uprights. It doesn't matter how you get into the end zone. All that matters is you're doing it on the biggest stage in the state, and IC Catholic is off and running on this big stage here this afternoon. Rickabeen sets his feet. He's got a great arm. He's got good touch on both those passes we've seen so far. He's put them in the exact right places. Luke Rickabeen is a heck of a quarterback, the senior who has been playing quarterback for IC Catholic since he was a freshman.
took over in week 3 as a freshman, and I tell you what, he has just taken full command of this offense. He knows exactly where all 11 men are on the field at all times.
Very seldom do you see somebody with that sort of poise, you said, that has that field awareness and the vision. And early on for Rickabine, he's played 60 seconds here in a state championship ball game, and he already has some big time numbers. Talk about a couple of touchdown passes, 65 yards throwing the ball, 2 passes, 2 touchdowns. Pretty impressive. But it's set up by the onside kick return. I don't know if you can even call it an onside kick.
Yeah, it was just kind of a pooch kick and a little bit of miscommunication. And you see here Carlinville has kind of moved up their deep men. The Dixon brothers are a little bit further up at about the 22-23 yard line this time. We'll see if IC Catholic decides to go with that pooch kick again, or if they have the ability to kick it deep, go deep and try and go over their heads.
Happy bunch of fans on the near sideline. Well, this is not where head coach Chad Easterday wanted to be. His team hasn't touched the ball yet, and he's down 15-0. And now Buffalo will hit it deep. And that ball is going to have to be brought out at the 1 yard line. Dixon, he'll be inside the 5. Only a 4-yard return for Kyle Dixon and Carlinville to start from their own 4-yard line.
That ball hits at about the 2 and just bounces straight up in the air. You've got to get on that ball. You don't know whether or not it's going into the end zone. You can't take the risk of just letting it die there at the 1 and letting IC Catholic get on it again.
Quarterback is Adam Walton. Running back Jacob Dixon starts from his own end zone. He'll maybe get half a yard. Adam Walton, he doesn't get a lot of the publicity with Jacob Dixon in the backfield, but Walton can get the job done. 17 touchdown passes against just 5 interceptions.
Yeah, he's still a very talented quarterback. I mean, he's gone through some injuries last year, but plays very well this year. He's got some big targets on the outside that he can find, and in a whole 15-0 already, they might have to go to the air quickly.
They'll stay on the ground on this play, and a big hole up the middle. Dixon will have the first down near the 20-yard line. Jacob Dixon with that run crosses the 3,000-yard mark this season.
I like what Carlinville is doing here. You got to stick with the game plan. We're only a minute into this game. You can't change now. You got to stick with the game plan. Rely on that all-state running back, Jacob Dixon. He is your workhorse. It's going to work. You just got to try and wear down this IC front.
Motion through the right side from Blake Richardson. Here's Walton's first pass of the day. That will go for about 6 yards on first down. The offense for Carlinville, the offensive line, bigger than the offensive line for IC. There you see at the bottom, it will be Long, Carn, Hanning, Thompson, and Bowman. We've already talked about Dixon and Chisholm. The starting lineups brought to you by Taco Bell. 2nd down and 4. Walton on play action. And unable to get there is Brady Jamison. Defending on the play, it's Matt Sutton back there, and the defense for IC. We just talked about Sutton. He, along with Khalil Saunders, Lazarick Eatman, and Jordan Rowell. Yes, those guys go both ways, as does Jimmy Keneally. He, along with Robert Vitek, the anchors of that offensive line. Good linebacking core, 2 of Reese Johnson and Callie Sanders.
I'm excited for the battle in the trenches. This is a very good Carlinville offensive line against a very good front 7 of IC.
Need a first down here, and the catch is made. To the 35-yard line, the chains will move. That time it's Connor Emmons on the reception, his 23rd of the season.
First down for Carlinville.
Carlinville likes to move the pocket. They like to roll out a little bit, use play action pass, and what a catch there by Emmons. That's very impressive. Exactly when your team needs it, you come up with a big play. That's a senior for you right there, Dave.
And a first down for the Cavaliers. Dylan Chisholm motion. Now motion from Richardson. On the ground, Dixon could not crack through. Had that opening once he popped through. One of the first men in on the hit was Callie Sanders, the 6'3", 195-pound sophomore.
Callie Sanders.
Kimon Reese also in there on the play, the middle linebacker. He's only a sophomore. This IC Catholic defense is loaded with young guys through the middle. You've got Reese, who's a sophomore middle linebacker. Saunders in the back end is a sophomore. Saunders, who is the other middle linebacker. Khalil is also a sophomore. There's a lot of good young talent on this IC defense.
just across the 41-yard line. And already here, Chris, you kind of feel that Carlinville has their feet underneath them. They were stuck early, but you feel like they're in a rhythm.
Yeah, this is exactly what you need on a kind of an opening drive, I guess you could say. This, you know, the first two drives haven't gone very well, but on an opening drive like this, you just kind of want to get your feet underneath you, like you said, complete a couple of passes, maybe get another third down conversion here, which would be huge for momentum.
You need about 5 yards here. We'll have to get across the 45-yard line, and Chad Easterday was not comfortable with what he saw from his offense. He will take a timeout here with 8:05 to play in the first quarter. It's an early 15-0 lead for IC. The Knights scoring twice in the first minute. There's Bill Kreff, the head coach at IC's in his 5th season, 41 wins. This guy has experience in the state championship ball game as a player on the IC 2002 state championship team. He was an all-state two-way lineman. So he is back here now as head coach. 3rd down and 5, the 8th play of the drive for the Cavaliers, and that will be inbounds, first down. Chad Easterday took that timeout, the head coach for Carlinville, and he got the play he wanted. You see the numbers there, 71-27. Here's a team that lost in the second round 4 times. They broke through this year, first time in the quarters since 2001, and of course here in a state championship game for the first time, or the 3rd time in school history. This drive has already taken up over 3 minutes. Walton throwing. Kyle Dixon, and that will be close to a first down.
If you're Carlinville, one of your best defenses could be your offense today. The more clock that they can chew up, it makes IC's offense stay on the sideline longer. So these are the kinds of drives that you're looking for if you're Carlinville and head coach Chad Easterday.
How about this, the 10th play of this drive? It's another first down. It's the 3rd first down for the Cavaliers. It's the first time they have touched the ball since trailing 15-0. Jacob Dixon. It's a hard-earned 3 yards. Jacob Dixon broke the school record for yards. He's well over 3,000 now in touchdowns. That was a record that was just set last year, and he's a workhorse. He's carried the ball 78 times the previous 2 games. More eye-popping numbers. How about 7 touchdowns in a game this year? On second down. Nice block to the outside, but the flag comes out. So for Brady Jamison, maybe that block not so great.
Looks like where that flag is thrown, it's going to be an easy block in the back call.
You could tell there's the receiving end of that pass was Blake Richardson, but you saw Jamison standing about 2 feet from that flag, just kind of chagrined, like, yep, that's my flag there.
Block in the back, number 88, Carlinville. 10-yard penalty, remains second down.
Our referee, Ricky Johnson. He's joined by Shane Moline, Mike LeClaire, Brady Cosgrove, and Michael Lubchow, working your 3A championship game. So a 5-yard walk-off, or make that a 10-yard walk-off, and it's a now a situation they did not want to be in. 2nd and 20. And whistles and another flag.
Might get longer than 2nd and 20.
And that's the direction they are pointing.
Dead ball foul. False start. Still second down.
Isn't that something? You're rolling, you've got that rhythm going, and then all of a sudden a penalty, and then compounded by another 5-yarder here.
Yeah, you know, the game of football is so unique. It's unlike any other sport, the way that the kind of pendulum of momentum swings in each direction. And IC obviously had it very, very early. Carlinville was starting to pull that momentum towards their side just a little bit. If you can just get a little bit of that momentum, maybe get it back to even. But now you've put yourself in another big hole with a couple of crucial penalties.
2nd and 26. They'll look to at least cut this in half. Walton will go deep, and it is picked off. Turnover. Walton will throw the pick. The interception will go to Collie Saunders. And that puts an end to the Carlinville drive.
You see the quarterback, Walton, try and pump fake the short screen and then go deep to Connor Emons, but Saunders is right there. He's all over him. You see he tries to get the pump fake to draw the defender, but Saunders doesn't fall for it. gets the interception, IC's offense back in business with good field position.
They'll start at their own 33-yard line. Carlinville holding on to the ball almost 4 minutes. The 2 times Luke Rickabeen has thrown the ball, they've gone for scores. Rowell, can he get to the outside? Sheds one tackler. We mentioned he gets about 13 yards per carry. Guess what? That's what he picked up right there.
Jordan Rowell, the ball carrier. Tackled by number 23, Blake
It's going to take more than one person to bring him down today. He runs with a lot of purpose. He's got over 2,000 yards on the season, 35 touchdowns, excuse me. Yeah, about 13 yards per carry. He's got a long of 99, so I don't know. You can't get much better than that.
They had run 5 plays prior to that last play, and 2 of them went for touchdowns. This one will be near midfield.
Tackled by 71, Gabe Long.
IC team that averages 52.2 points per game. They only give up 7 per game. The Knights have pitched 8 shutouts. There's Jordan Rowell, track athlete. He has 9 medals in the sprints in Class 1A track. Big hole. Rowell on a first down near the 40.
Just before that play, you saw Rickabeen and Rowell both looking to the sideline. Not sure who changed that play, but they got into the right one there as Rowell goes straight up the middle, gets some good blocks, and he's into the second level for a gain of 11 yards.
Another first down, the 5th for the Knights. Inside the 40-yard line. And you have the strength, 6'2", 195-pounder. He's coming off a 302-yard effort, 31 carries, a 48-6 win over Monticello in the semifinals. He's also a pass-catching threat as well. Play action. Nearly a one-hand grab, and then just as close to a pick.
Khalil Saunders made a heck of a play on that interception, had great hands there, but that ball just a little bit too far out of his reach. The play action and then the quick slant inside to Saunders, gets 2 attempts at it, kind of bats it twice before it finally falls to the turf.
3rd down and short. Eatman. Looks as if he may have enough. Zarek Eatman has carried the ball.
Zarek Eatman, the ball
500 yards this year. He's really come on. The season has progressed. The junior sometimes gets lost in the crowd with the attention that's played to Rowell and Rickabeen.
Yeah, you see him in the backfield. You also see him in the slot. We saw him catch a touchdown already today. He's kind of a guy who can do everything for this IC Catholic team. Also a very good kick returner, so plays in special teams as well. He's a 3-way guy who really has come into his own and found a role on this team, even with guys like you said, Rickabeen and Rowell.
In the semifinals, he rushed 21 times for 160 yards. It's a first down by signal. There was also a flag down near where that measurement took place. Not sure if that flag is still sitting there or not. They have picked it up. So this drive, for comparison purposes, methodical for IC.
Yeah, you could say, I guess, methodical. This is a team, though, that when they get their chance for a big shot, they're going to take it. They're not going to wait around. So wouldn't be surprised if you see a couple of shots at the end zone here, 1st and 10 from the 30.
Staying the ground to Rowell. Drive inside the 25, pick up of about 6 yards, maybe 7.
All those feet just continuing to churn there for Rowell. He's a big kid, runs real hard, low pads, but he makes it look effortless. It almost looks like he's just kind of striding out there, Dave.
And that stride will take him near the first down.
Jordan Rowell, the carrier.
Yeah, he he strikes me as a glider.
Yeah, it's very effortless, and you like guys like that. That's what college coaches really look for, a guy at the high school level who just makes it look effortless.
Speaking of colleges, Raul originally had given a verbal commitment to Northern Illinois University and then decommitted, and so he's going to let this high school football season play out and then take a look at where he may like to play on the next level. To the edge. And a flag is thrown right there as he was turning the corner. That could very well be a hold on IC Catholic. Again, this offensive line very, very strong, and there it is. The hold. Left tackle Ricky Misselwicki has really come on this year. 6'1", 275-pound sophomore. Yet another sophomore.
Holding, number 53, Elmhurst. 10-yard penalty. Replay, third down.
That penalty is on Ryan Keneally, the younger brother of Jimmy Keneally. They oftentimes line up on the same side of the offensive line, so the brothers rub shoulders in that line. And this will be the 10th play of the drive for IC. On 3rd and 10, and another penalty. This will be our second penalty in succession if it goes against IC.
Dead ball. False start, number 13. Third down.
Well, Chris, we've seen a couple of drives that have been just cruising along and stalled by penalties. The difference here, though, IC is explosive. They can make this up, this 15 yards quickly.
Yeah, 3rd and 15 to them is a lot different than a team like Carlinville, which relies heavily on the run, and their all-state running back, Jacob Dixon. Luke Rickabine can make plays with his arm. We've seen it twice already today.
There's room. Coming back, there's the first down. Eatman looked like he had the first down. He came back and then gets it by about half a yard. 16 yards when he needed 15.
That was very eventful, and I think when the junior gets back to the sideline, he's going to have a little talking with head coach Bill Krepp. He's going to say, listen, we need 15 yards. Let's not worry about the touchdown right now. Let's put our head down and let's get 15 yards. Coaches always talk about you got to know where the sticks are, on defense especially, but on offense, when you got the ball in your hand on 3rd and 15, you really got to know where the sticks are. Don't go backwards here, son. Let's go forward.
He went backwards twice.
Yeah.
And finally gets before he's wrapped up and brought down by Brady Eaglehoff. But it's first down, IC. Right up the middle, Raul Powers to the 5, into the end zone. The 3rd touchdown of the day for IC here in the first quarter. An 11-play, 66-yard drive, 20-yard touchdown run for Jordan Raul, his 35th of the season.
What a special talent Jordan Raul is. You see the two Keneally brothers opening up the hole on the left side. Robert Vitek also in there at center, creating a lane for Jordan Raul, and then he drags Jacob Dixon to the goal line. What a run by Raul. He is having himself an afternoon already.
Buffo on for the extra point. Remember, it was a 2-point conversion after the first touchdown. Buffo and an ugly extra point on the second one. This is clean. And with 2:52 to play in the first quarter, it is 22-0. The Knights touching the ball 3 times, 3 possessions, 3 scores.
Yeah, you see even getting to the second level there is Dylan Packer. He gets to the second level, knocks out a linebacker, and Jordan Raul just dragging defenders to the end zone, breaking tackles. This senior, 6'2", 195, can really get the job done for IC Catholic.
Jordan Raul with that touchdown run. He's been to the end zone often. Hey, starting Monday, December 5th, break away from the same old sports shows and get your social on with In the Loop on CSN. It's your fast-paced, fresh daily take on sports featuring trending topics, viral videos, and you. In the Loop with Luke Stuckmeyer and Layla Rahimi premieres Monday, December 5th at 6 on CSN. We saw the Jacob Dixon going both ways. He had a chance to bring down Jordan Raul. And though Dixon is a wrestler, I don't know that you're going to take him down up high once number 35 got rolling. So for the third time today, IC to kick off. They have gone short, they have gone long, and this will call it in between at about the 30-yard line. And a very short return. Carlinville down by 3 touchdowns. Will take over at their own 35.
IC just has all the momentum. You see these guys running down on the kickoff team just with their hair on fire, and Carlinville seems deflated on their side of the field. They need something good to happen right here, right now. A long drive, just like they had on that last one before the interception.
10 plays on that previous drive before it was stopped by the turnover. Short gain to the right side. Total yardage, 167, and what we still have 2:44 to play in the first quarter. 167 for IC, and that 2-yard pickup, or actually no gain on that play. It will be still 58 yards for the Cavaliers. Carlinville to spread the field a little bit. Walton has been effective in the air, 4 of 7 for 34 yards. Under pressure there, and that is incomplete to Emmons. Here coming after that 14, Adam Walton.
He almost got that ball off to Emmons. You see here the play fake. IC Catholic doesn't fall for it, has to try the jump pass, and ball falls just short of Emmons. Brings up 3rd and long for Carlinville. A definite passing situation here. I'd look for Brady Jamison. They've targeted him once. He's at the top of your screen near the sideline.
Jamison with 40 catches on the season, and that will bring up a 4th down.
They go the other way. They try Connor Emmons, their senior. He's caught 23 balls this year. Doesn't work. 4th down for Carlinville.
For 56-foot, 245-pounder, a sophomore. Yet again, that's Michael Johnson. So for all you folks that have IC on your schedule the next 2 years, a lot of people coming back. Walton doubles as the punter. And a fair catch right at the 40. Be the 4th time that the Knights will get their hands on the ball. It will come with 2:30 to play in the first quarter, and each time that IC has touched the ball, they've ended up in the end zone for head coach Bill Kreft.
40-yard line.
You mentioned that Kreft was a player on that 2002 state championship team. He was an assistant coach on the 2008 title team, and now he's the head coach at yet another state championship appearance.
Not a whole lot that you can be disappointed with so far, Coach. I mean, this has gone as according to the plan if you are IC Catholic early on in this game.
There's some room to the outside. Stock block to the outside across midfield. Inside the 40, down to the 35-yard line. Jordan Rowell will carry a couple of tacklers. Total of 25 yards on that run.
And it's Matt Sutton who caught the touchdown pass earlier in the quarter that springs Rowell for that big gain. He's blocking on the outside. It's tough to block when you're a wide receiver, man. They ask you to hold those blocks for a long time, about double the time that those offensive linemen have to hold their blocks. Sutton does a good job there of springing his running back for a big gain.
Play action. A slip at about the 30-yard line. As Eric Eatman and his feet go out from underneath him. 3A championship game. Following this one, 4A, Johnsburg and Rochester. Johnsburg making their first appearance in the title game. Rochester looking to claim their 6th state championship in 7 years. Good look at Luke Rickaby. Just so poised. Blockers in front. Rowell gets what, maybe 3-4 yards after each hit he takes.
Yeah, Dylan Chisholm down at the bottom of that pile. He slips by one of the offensive linemen who doesn't see him. His great pursuit from the backside keeps that to about a 6-yard gain. Could have been much more, but Dylan Chisholm for Carlinville comes up with a huge stop.
That will be 5 yards. That will be walked off against the Cavaliers.
Dead ball foul. Offsides on the defense. 5-yard penalty.
Nose guard Max Rogers got a little bit jumpy
5-yard
inside.
penalty results in a first down.
Chad Easterday feeling maybe a bit helpless right now because this is an absolute machine of an offense he's going up against. Rickabine, time looking for his third touchdown throw of the day, and a little bit too much. He was looking for Brendan Russ.
Russ, Sutton, and Eatman kind of in that bunch formation at the bottom of your screen before that last play. And you see that it's kind of a three-man option route. Russ runs the seam into the end zone. Eatman breaks his off short, and so does Sutton. One breaks outside, one breaks inside. It gives Luke Rickabine a number of different options, and he's such a smart quarterback. He's able to read all three of those options quickly, make a good decision, but that ball just a little bit overthrown.
On the run to Eatman. He'll make the most of a tight sideline there inside that 14-yard line. Gets a pad on the back of Kyle Dixon, number 31. Eatman, once again, figuring into the offense here. We mentioned he has come on as this season has gone on.
And if you're head coach Bill Kreft, you have to like what you see from Eatman. Just a junior. Rickabine and Eatman will be back next year. You're going to have to find someone to replace 2,000 yards on rushing, and then even another 500 yards through the air from Jordan Rowell. You got to like Eatman's chances to slip into that backfield and do a good job, kind of continue the momentum that IC Catholic has created this year.
13th first down here in the first quarter for the Knights. One of the victories along the way here for IC. Came in a quarterfinals, 48-14 over Wilmington. The Wildcats, number 2 seed in Class 3A, and in that ball game, 631 yards of offense for IC. They have a fresh set of downs. Rowell, now it's a race to the corner. Rowell, the speed, and the score.
He's got it all. We've seen him go up the middle. We've seen him go to the edge, and here he uses his speed to outrun everyone on the Carlinville defense to the pylon. Jordan Rowell with his second touchdown of the game.
14-yard run to cap off a 6-play, 60-yard drive. 3 first downs on that drive. It is 28-0. Once again, it will be Sam Buffo for the extra point attempt. That drive took 1 minute and 28 seconds. 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns for IC. They have dominated through this season, and they are doing it here in the first quarter in your 3A championship game. Jordan Rowell, he's had a day in a quarter.
It's unbelievable. He's already got 123 yards rushing. You see him go to the outside here, even break a couple tackles on his way for a first down. He can also go straight up the middle, that big offensive line. Give them a lot of credit. They're creating some big holes for the All-State running back. His first touchdown of the game, straight up the middle, and you just saw his second touchdown of the game to the pylon. What a talent he is. You said he's undecided on college. I have a feeling he'll have plenty of options at the end of this year. They'll be knocking down his door to get him onto their campus next season.
Oh, he has great size. 6'2", 195-pounder.
And a college is going to look at that frame and say 195 pounds. Maybe that's a little bit small, but no big deal. Most college freshmen are going to put on, when you get into a real good nutrition program, weight program, about 10 pounds. They'll put some good pounds on him, and he will be a force at the next level.
Again, the short kick as Carlinville not a chance to get the ball deep to the return men. They are able to bring up Kyle Dixon a little bit short, but that little chip shot will give Cavaliers the ball. Under a minute to play here in the first quarter. They're looking up at a scoreboard that finds them down by 29 points. Going back to Rowell for a second. We talk about the battle-tested team that IC is in that crazy game, the second game of the year, 63-49 win over St. Lawrence. St. Lawrence, by the way, in the semifinals of Class 6A, and all Rowell did is he had 371 yards of offense.
Yeah, against a very good 6A team. I mean, this IC Catholic team, didn't play very many 3A schools all year. And so for them to play that tough of a schedule and kind of test themselves in the regular season before getting to this big stage, it certainly helps.
A penalty flag thrown right at the end of that play. And our officials are pointing to Carlinville.
Blocking it back, number 64 for Carlinville. Remains first down.
You know, it's so hard right now for the Cavaliers just to take a breath. You know, let's remember that drive we had, fellas, the first time we had the ball. And now, you know, your heart rate's increased a little bit beyond what you would like it to be right now, and the mistakes are coming.
And that block in the back by Ryan Bowman, one of the senior leaders on this team, who kind of rallied the troops after that loss to Pana and got them all the way to this championship game. They're going to need guys like him. They're going to need those senior leaders to step up. You know, Dylan Chisholm, Bowman, maybe have a talk with this team at the end of this quarter or at halftime. Rally the troops. You know, guys, we can get back in this game if we stick to our game plan and rely on that man right there, Jacob Dixon.
Walton looks to the sideline. The snap will have to take place. I believe the play clock is off. Maybe they'll just be satisfied with letting it go to 0. That's what it appears it will be. 29-0. Bill Kref's IC Catholic Knights have absolutely dominated after 12 minutes. Sutton Eatman, Rowell and Rowell, the 29-0 lead after 1 here at Memorial Stadium on the campus of the University of Illinois. Chris Highland, I'm Dave Bernhardt, and in about 15 minutes you will hear once again from our studio hosts, Annie Constable and Edgy Tim. Great to have you with us here this evening. Game number 3 out of 4 today. Coming up, Johnsburg and Rochester in 4A. Cavaliers faced with a 3rd down and 20. They'll go on the ground. Dixon, not much. Get about 7.
You know, but I like that call. Even though it's 3rd and 20, your chances of running the ball for a first down are slim. You've got to continue to keep Jacob Dixon involved in this game. You don't want to completely abandon the run game here. You have to make sure that he stays in this game as much as possible.
Jacob Dixon, 8 carries for 27 yards. On his first carry today, he passed the 3,000-yard mark for the season. This punt will drift out of bounds. IC to have it at their own 33. 36-yard kick, got a little hop there for Walton. A Sunday morning before Jordan Howard and company face the Tennessee Titans. Get ready for kickoff with Chris Bowden, Lance Briggs, Alex Brown, and Jim Miller on an hour-long edition of Bears Pregame Live. And after the game goes final, you won't want to miss what the guys have to say. Plus, hear from Coach Fox and the rest of the team on Bears Postgame Live. It all begins Sunday at 11 a.m. on CSN. Team that averages 52 points per game will have it for their 5th time today, a little over a minute into this second quarter. In that first quarter, 222 yards of offense for IC. Short addition to that on their first play.
35.
Gabe Long, the big junior on the defensive line for Carlinville, which has a size advantage over this IC Catholic offensive line. Gets in there on the tackle, 6 foot, 280-pound junior. They're going to rely heavily on those big guys to try and create some pressure here early in the second quarter, try and get the ball back for that Cavalier offense.
Once again, Rowell off right guard and tackle. They'll set up a 3rd and short for the Knights.
And while the Cavaliers might have a bit of a size advantage inside, when you've got guys like Rowell and Eatman who can get to the outside, who can get to the edge of a defense quickly, it becomes tough for those big men to run sideline to sideline. That's why you have to rely on your linebackers like Dylan Chisholm, who's made a couple big plays so far for the Cavaliers in this game, and also Jacob Dixon, the safety. You see him lined up in kind of a stack formation right behind Chisholm at the top of that eye. He's there for run support.
And it will be 4th down. First time today that the Knights had to make a decision here on 4th down.
Is incomplete. Brings up 4th down.
This is a tough decision if I'm head coach Bill Kreft. I mean, you want to keep the momentum, you might as well go for it. Your defense has been playing just as well as your offense has. They've pitched a shutout so far, only given up 34 yards of total offense in the first quarter, and it does look like IC Catholic is going to go for it here.
They'll need 2 yards. 2 yards and about 6 inches for a first down. And Rickabine to kick. Nobody deep, so it's going to take a pretty good roll here. Nope, it'll come straight up in the air. So it was a decision that was made by Bill Kreft. You know, let's make it look like we're going to go, and then we'll kick. It ends up being a 32-yard punt, so that works.
36 yards.
You see a lot of teams nowadays who use that quarterback to kick the football. Maybe you give the option, whether if you see something you like, you go for it, try and run it yourself, maybe throw a quick out to a wide receiver if they leave one uncovered. But you know, if everything is business as usual, you just go ahead and punt it away.
Alton picks up that low snap, and he'll have the completion to the outside and tight roping the sidelines. And depending on the spot, looks like it's going to be about a 9-yard pickup on that completion. And once again, they will get it to Connor Emmons. Big yardage difference in this first quarter and a little bit extra here into the second quarter. Of course, it all belongs to IC. So that was Kyle Dixon on that reception. He was able to get to the outside. Another low snap. Jacob Dixon, nice little hesitation at the line for Dixon. Dixon so tough to bring down, and that offensive line wasn't going to give in. That ball comes all the way out to the 45-yard line.
And that's the first time we've really heard this big Carlinville crowd get behind these Cavaliers. They need some momentum. They can try and draw a little bit from this crowd cheering them on after they get that first down, marching closer to midfield.
Mentioned Gabe Long on the defensive side. Big old number 71, 280-pound junior, led the way through the hole for Dixon that time. Again, play action. Again to Kyle Dixon to the outside. You know, speaking of that Carlinville crowd, it was interesting. It pulled into the stadium today. The buses for Carlinville just pulled up. All their fans had mobbed to the edge of the little driveway where the buses came in. It was very, very great moment for that town.
This is an exciting time for Carlinville. Head coach Chad Easterday, when we talked to him earlier in the week, said that the community has just been great. The kids are just kind of living in the moment, soaking everything in. And while this game might not have started the way you wanted, you've got Jacob Dixon going now as you see him pick up another first down. As Carlinville fans are into it, this might be the time that Carlinville gets going, and there's still plenty of time left in this game, Dave. I mean, this is a Carlinville team who has a very prolific offense of their own. They've only scored less than 30 points 3 times this year. So this is a team that can score points in a hurry too. So if I'm IC Catholic, I'm not taking anything for granted just yet.
Cavaliers scored 76 points in the very first game of these playoffs. IC takes the timeout with the big lead. The 2016 IHSA Football State Championships are brought to you by Country Financial. Country Financial will help you build a plan with insurance and financial solutions to help you get to where you want to go. Call your local rep at 1-866-COUNTRY or visit countryfinancial.com. 8:44 to play in the first half. It's a 29-0 lead. Happy you're with us. Dave Bernhardt along with Chris Highland on a nice crisp evening for football. Motion through from Blake Richardson. Walton, first time he's kept the ball, no gain. He is run down by Chris Johnson. There's big number 76, Robert Vitek, as well.
76, Robert Vitek.
Walton, not a quarterback that keeps the ball very often, but he tried to catch the IC Catholic defense on their heels. We've seen that read option fake, throw the quick out a lot from Carlinville so far in the first half, and that time Walton thought he'd try and sneak a couple of yards by putting it under his own arm, but the IC Catholic Knights are right there all over him.
Lost a yard on first down. They'll get it back here from Jacob Dixon. He'll get a little more, and you can just see the strength, the confidence that Dixon now has picked up here in the second quarter.
He's tough to bring down, too. He's a wrestler in his own right. And Coach says, you know, it's amazing how he sometimes puts a hand on the ground. It looks like he's in a hole, and he's going to be stopped for 2 or 3 yards, and then all of a sudden he's out to shoot for a touchdown 65 yards down the field. He's impressive, and you saw right there Ryan Bowman, the senior, 5'9", only 190, playing on the offensive line, but he's got good movement. He pulled around there and created a block for Dixon to get through that hole.
3rd and short. He may be about a yard short.
Dixon on the carry.
Well, it will be a 4th down, and it will be a strong yard. And in this situation, with 7:45 to play, you're going for it here, no doubt.
This is a 4-down territory right here, absolutely. And, you know, when you've got an all-state running back who's got 3,000 yards, I don't think anyone in the stadium can deny that this ball is going to go to 21 right here.
There it is. He's going to have that strength to get through. He was hit shy of the first down, and he just muscled his way forward, and that will move the chains.
That's pure willpower right there. 6 foot, 175 pounds. Jacob Dixon, the senior, muscles his way for a first down and keeps Carlinville alive.
That's the 3rd first down on this drive, and it resembles the first drive of the game for the Cavaliers. On first down, running out of room, and a gain of about 2. That's a tough, long run for 2 yards.
That's where Dixon runs into trouble. When he's got to bounce the ball outside, he has the speed, but the problem is the IC Catholic defense on the other end has a bunch of speed too. You saw Khalil Saunders and Kali Saunders giving chase there. The outside linebacker is able to run Dixon down before he gets to the sideline and can turn the corner.
Here comes the 10th play of this drive for Carlinville. A little bit different look here in offensive formation. Dixon met head on. It will be 3rd down and long.
Dixon the ball carrier.
The leading tackler for IC Catholic, Keemon Reese, the sophomore, had 136 tackles this season. All over the field.
Third and 7.
Those linebackers for IC Catholic, you also had Chris Johnson in on that tackle. He's got 135 tackles on the season. They really know how to fill well. And it's because that front 4 is so big, they take up all those offensive linemen, let the linebackers make all those tackles.
Chisholm to the outside, makes the cut. He'll be very close to that first down. Boy, you saw some pretty good wheels there from Dylan Chisholm.
That's the first time we've seen Chisholm carry the ball. He's got 180 yards rushing on the season on 35 carries, but he's a good second option for Carlinville, able to switch things up, give Jacob Dixon a bit of a break, get close to the first down there.
You can see at the top of your screen, they don't need much. About 1.5 feet is all. Attempting their second 4th down conversion of this drive. And that will be enough.
They run the exact same play to the exact same side. Daniel Card, that left guard, along with Gabe Long, the left tackle, blocking down, pushing the front 4 of IC Catholic out of the way, and Jacob Dixon puts his head down, gets about 1.5 yards. Just what Carlinville needed to keep the drive alive.
Dixon again, when he picked that foot up to elevate, that's when he stopped.
Dead in his tracks. Stopped dead in his tracks by a couple of those big linebackers.
You know, you mentioned Daniel Card, the left guard for Carlinville. His sister, Kelsey Card, represented the United States in the Rio Olympics. It's a discus thrower. Well, that's getting the job done for your hometown of Carlinville.
Pretty good family tradition there.
After a short game, 4.5 to play here in the first half. Dixon, nice little bounce. You know, the one thing, Chris, I like what I'm seeing here with Carlinville. You've mentioned a couple times they've not gotten out of the game. This is what we're going to do coming into this championship game. We're down 29-0. We're still going to do it.
You have to. There's no choice. I mean, you got to continue to do what got you here, and this is not good if you are Carlinville. He's going to get up, Jacob Dixon, because that might have changed exactly what they wanted to do. Jacob Dixon, the all-state running back, limps off the field for Carlinville. Not sure what it is. He isn't favoring one leg over the other just yet, but we did see him limping. That is certainly going to affect what you want to do if you are Carlinville. But before he went out, Carlinville is just doing what they did well all season to get them here. See, maybe his right leg gets rolled up on by one of those big defensive linemen. Hopefully he can come back into this game soon for Carlinville. He looks to be all right.
I chuckled because his head coach, Chad Easterday, just grabbed him, pulled him to his feet, and said, "We need you." Chisholm. And it will be another 4th down. This will be the 3rd time Carlinville has faced a 4th down on this possession.
Here comes Dixon back into the ball game. You can see there, Chisholm gets the ball. It's just a different style of running when you have Dixon in there compared to Chisholm. Dixon is certainly the one that you're going to rely on here on 4th down. It's about 4th and 4. It's a little bit longer than the other 2 4th downs that they've had to convert. But I still think you gotta think about running the ball here.
This is the 16th play of this drive, and that will not be enough. Coming up about a yard short, 16-play drive comes to an end at the 10-yard line. IC to take over the Knights. 3:10 to play and a half, leading it 29-zip. We're a little over 3 minutes away from halftime. Annie Constable and Edgy Tim O'Halloran getting you all set here during the break. You get us set up for our final game of the day. That will be coming up following this one, your 4A championship game, matching Johnsburg Skyhawks and the Rockets from Rochester. What'd you say? Jordan Rowell had a 99-yard touchdown run earlier this year. They're sitting at the 10-yard line right now. I'm not saying.
He can only match it here today. He can't do any better than 99. This one will be 90 if he gets the ball in his hands.
He has the ball in his hands, and he'll take a hit and still get 6, almost 7 yards out of it. This season started for IC with a 34-0 win over the defending Class 3A champions. And that was significant because last year, IC was eliminated in the semifinals by Bishop McNamara. They were crunched. 42-14 came back, and that opening game really was a measuring stick as to how much they had improved.
And that was a really talented Bishop Mac team last year. I mean, we watched them play in the state championships, and just wow, they were so impressive. Kind of like what we're seeing with IC Catholic here today. A team that is experienced now, kind of went through some tough times last year with these guys in the backfield, and you see a lot of the seniors on the offensive line who felt the pain of that loss in the semifinals, and they are out for revenge, and they have been out for blood since week 1.
Rickabee, we haven't seen him throw for a while. Lofts it just a bit much for his buddy, Matt Sutton.
Rickabee's pass.
You missed the opening pass of this game from Rickabee. It went to number 5 there, Matt Sutton. It was a gorgeous throw, a better catch, and went for 35 yards less than a minute into this game.
Sutton had Hayden Thompson beat there on the backside, and Rickabee just tries to loft it up and put it right in the breadbasket of Sutton like he did on that touchdown pass, but this one just a bit out of reach.
Rowell, there's room to the right side, and that will be enough for the first down. Jordan Rowell just adding up his numbers. That's his 8th carry here in the first half. He has 154 yards after that 10-yard pickup.
At the 34-yard line.
That's a full day's work already in one half.
Rickabee. We haven't seen him run as much as maybe we might have expected. He's rushing for 650 yards this year.
And he's got 11 scores too, so he runs the ball a lot when he's down by the goal line. I think that certainly wasn't a designed run. That was kind of a run out of necessity. He had 3 wide receivers on that side, kind of like he does right here, as he throws that one over Sutton's head. But on that previous play, just had none of them open. Has to tuck the ball and get what he can. Gets about 3 yards.
Flag on the play.
Flag thrown right in the middle of the line as Rickabeen was rolling to the right side.
Holding. Number 50, Elmhurst. 10-yard penalty from the point of flag. Replay second down.
Buck 37 at play here in the first half. Bill Kreft, we've already detailed his success as a player, as an assistant coach, as a head coach. You saw just that little body language. Satisfied yet, a penalty.
Yeah, there are certainly things that you can clean up if you're the Knights in the locker room at halftime.
Quickly from Rickabeen. A bit too hot to handle, a little bit too high to handle. Looking for Brendan Russ. Russ 358 yards this season receiving.
IC has gotten themselves into a couple of very third and long situations. I'm sure that's going to be something that Coach Kreft is going to talk to his team about at halftime. We got to stay out of these third and long situations. While we do have a high-powered offense and we can make this up in a hurry, we never want to put ourselves behind the sticks like this.
And the little delay, they give it to Rowell. Nice yardage, but well short of the first down. Carlinville will get their hands on the ball one more time here in the first half.
It looks like Coach Easterday is going to save his 2 timeouts.
Fourth down and 8 at the 35-yard line.
Play clock just now starting. IC Catholic can take this all the way down to about 50 seconds or so before they have to punt the football away. And Luke Rickabeen is going to take every one of those seconds. We might even see Coach Kreft take the timeout himself here, as the play clock is now down to about 3. He is going to take that timeout. IC Catholic with 1 timeout remaining.
Timeout on the field allows us to remind you that when coming to Champaign for the state finals,
Elmhurst.
an Illini game, or just a visit, the best place to stay is Hawthorne Suites by Wyndham. It's located just 4 blocks from Memorial Stadium. Hawthorne Suites' clean, comfortable rooms are a welcome sight while on the road. Their fitness center, indoor pool, hot tub, and full hot breakfast, complete with an omelet chef, are just a few of the perks that make the Hawthorne Suites the place to stay in Champaign. Moments away from halftime. Edgy Tim, Andy Constable getting themselves all ready. We were down there at halftime of the 2A game and preparations. They're ready to roll. We'll look at the Carlinville High School band. We're thrilled for those guys too. You know, the state finals, first time this school's been to the state football finals since 1993.
And the whole community's just loving it. And even though their team is down 29-0, we saw it on the last couple of drives. When Carlinville has been able to put things together, this community is still behind them. Those fans are just as loud as they were before this game started.
Rickabeen, a little floating kick and out of bounds, and we'll walk it up that sideline to see where the Cavaliers will have it with 40 seconds to play here in the first half. 27 yards for Luke Rickabeen on that little punch of a kick. Cavaliers scoring in their first 4 possessions in this game. They have been stymied, partially by penalties, in the last couple of drives. Let's see what the Cavaliers choose to do. Just 1 loss on the season for Carlinville, 25-23 to Pana. That was a ball game that Cavaliers were leading. Hard running for Jacob Dixon. You know, that's a wrestler right there. He was not going to go down.
His butt is about 3 inches from the turf there, Dave, but he refuses to let that be the end of this play. He wants every inch. He is fighting for every single yard on this field today, and can you blame the guy? He's an all-stater. He's had an unbelievable career, and he doesn't want it to end with a 29-0 or loss. He wants Carlinville to put some points on the board and make this a game in the second half.
Cavaliers will just let that clock run down to 0.
3A state championship.
Bill His team came in 13-0, maybe the most dominating 13-0 team here in the state finals, and scoring out of the first 2 times they touched the ball. In fact, scoring before Carlinville even touched the ball, jumped out to a 15-0 lead, a couple of Jordan Rowell touchdown runs, 29-0, as they look for their 3rd state championship in school history, looking for the 1st since 2008. IC with wins over St. Joe Ogden, Paxton Buckley Loda, over 2nd-ranked Wilmington in the quarterfinals, and then coming back the 48-point effort against Monticello in the semifinals. They are picking up right from there, and they're going to go to the locker room 29-0. More coming up at the half. This is your 3A championship game, coming to you from Memorial Stadium.
The undefeated IC Catholic Knights off to an exceptional start, 29-0 here in the first half, led by a dynamic performance from none other than Jordan Rowell.
Yeah, in case you haven't heard, Jordan Rowell is a pretty good football player and certainly showed it in the first half. I mean, 166 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, and you know, between the balance and the power and the speed, I mean, he just brings so much to the table. And you know, you just watch him, you know, out of the shotgun and inside, outside, it doesn't matter. He can just keep his balance and run strong, runs hard, and again, his vision as well is just impressive. Just finding the hole, reads the blocks exceptionally well, and you know, some of these runs he's getting 5-10 yards upfield before anyone gets near him, and we've got to credit the O-line as well. But this is a special talent, obviously.
Yeah, and you know, they're off to a 29-0 lead right now, and that doesn't take away from Jordan Rowell's talent. It looks like when you're watching this game, it's super easy out there, but he's played tough talent his entire season, his entire career at ISC Catholic, and this just speaks to the talented player that he is.
Yeah, and you know, and people ask all the time, well, how has IC been able to do it this year? I think you go back and look at the schedule. I mean, they've been tested. They play in a conference that plays them against bigger enrollment schools. Their non-conference schedule, absolutely packed with great opponents, including a 6A Power in St. Lawrence, and they beat them. So again, I think it all just kind of adds up to what's happened tonight, and again, this team's no fluke. They're the real deal.
Definitely, and Rowell with 166 rushing yards. The team has 172 rushing yards. So that says something about who they go to and how much they depend on this player in Rowell.
Yeah, and just not a great. You couldn't ask for a worse start for Carlinville in this ball game, and you just can't do that against a team like an IC, because we talked about shock and awe at the beginning. It's exactly what happened early.
IC is definitely used to a stage like this. Carlinville, what do they have to do coming into the second half to gain any kind of momentum to keep them in this game?
Well, I think Dave and Chris nailed it up in the booth, and that's the fact that, you know what, hey, you're not going to reinvent the wheel in a game like this. You do what got you here, and again, run the football, stick to your game plan, and try to get some momentum going, and hopefully some things will go your way. IC
Catholic, again, off to a dynamic lead against this squad here. After this, we're going to a country financial memorable moment. Keep it here on Comcast Sportsnet.
We've had a great team at U-High. I'm Lori Adams, and I am an assistant speech and debate coach. Originally, it was hard to get enough students together to field a full team, but we managed to actually tie for the sectional championship our 3rd year. Within 6 years, we actually were able to compete at the IHSA state tournament in speech and win. It's amazing to watch students grow into champions. It takes an enormous amount of hard work. Country Financial is a great fit for me because we're large enough to be competitive, but not so large that we forget that there are individuals involved. At Country, you're a person, and you're a person who has the opportunity to make a difference. It's about relationships. So it makes perfect sense that we have a partnership with IHSA, because it's all about building supportive relationships.
IC Catholic Knights off to a 29-0 lead over Carlinville. A very Knight-heavy highlight coming at you in just a second. They really took advantage in that first half of the game.
They did. So far, it's been a very good night, to say the least.
A very, very good night for the Knights, 29-0. Here are the highlights. Starting things off early, a 36-yard touchdown pass. Here we go.
Right up the middle. Again, Luke Rickabine, such a weapon this year. He gives so much dimension to this offense.
This kid right here, a huge weapon. Jordan Rowell, 2-point conversion. But Rickabine, like you said, another dynamic weapon for the Knights.
You get a quick touchdown, and for Carlinville, this just kills you. I mean, again, great tackle, great strip, but again, kills your momentum.
Yeah, you try to maintain that momentum, and they take it right back. Rickabine, again, a 20-yard touchdown pass. Their offense can't be stopped.
Again, just impressive both in the air and on the ground. And again, you just look at an athletic play here. Defensive back just makes a great read and steps up for the interception.
Our guy Jordan Rowell here with a 19-yard rushing touchdown.
You just can't tackle that young man up high. You got to go low to bring him down.
Up next, another Jordan Rowell rushing touchdown, this time for 14 yards.
Well, again, you look at the speed, you look at the power. He showed it on that play.
He just gets in the end zone. He knows exactly how to get in there, and there he is again.
And folks, that's just pure speed, getting to the corner and beating the defender. Simple as that.
Rowell is definitely the key to this team's offense, but like you said as well, Rickabine is another key to the offense. Rushing yards for the Knights, 172 on the game, 96 passing yards. Take a look at the Cavaliers' stats on the other end. They're just not really able to get anything going.
Yeah, and it was the two early turnovers that really hurt. And again, towards the end of the second quarter here, Jacob Dixon was able to get the running game going, get in his gear a little bit. And again, that's what's going to have to happen here in the second half.
More 3A state championship action coming your way right after this. You're watching Comcast Sportsnet.
The IHSA is camaraderie, excellence, sportsmanship, enthusiasm, the original March Madness. The future plays here, the Illinois High School Association.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Welcome back to Memorial Stadium, where it's 29-0 at the end of the first half in your 3A championship game. 2.5 down, 1.5 to go here at University of Illinois. Let's take a look at the bios of these two schools. First of all, for IC Catholic, they come out of the Metro Suburban Conference, enrollment at 300. Of course, that's multiplied, and a perfect 9-0 record. Last year, we talked about that loss to Bishop McNamara. They're looking for their third state championship. For the Cavaliers from Carlinville, looks like this, South Central Conference, and that 8-1 record, just one loss. It was a two-pointer earlier on, and last year bounced out in the second round. That's happened 4 times for the Cavaliers. And this will be their third time to pick up a state trophy. Let's go down and talk to the head coach for Carlinville. That's Chad Easterday. And coach, in that first half, you had 2 drives that were extended drives. You really got your feet underneath you each of those times. You have to be happy about that, staying with your game plan and then it playing out for you?
Yeah, you know, we had a little special team bump in the road there early on, which cost us 7 points. And, you know, we got our feet, like you said, we got our feet wet and settled in there, got a couple stops, and hopefully we can carry that momentum on into the second half.
Coach, how do you try and stop Jordan Rull? I mean, he's got everything going right now.
You don't. You just got to pin him in. You know, we knew that was going to be an uphill battle today, and I think if we can keep him between the tackles and off the flank, that gives us the best shot to make sure that we can get some more stops. But we got to get the ball in the end zone to take some pressure off our defense.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you very much.
That's Chad Easterday, the head coach at Carlinville. His team trails by 29, but we've got that second half coming up here in your 3A title game in 2016. Half the football game to be played here in your 3A championship game. The undefeated IC Catholic Knights on top by 29. Dave Bernhardt along with Chris Highland. Glad you could join us. And there's 12 minutes in a quarter, right? And you start a game when there's 12 minutes left on the clock. But boy, if you can wipe out those first 60 seconds for Carlinville, it is a little different game.
Yeah, you know, you hate to play hypotheticals, Dave, but we're going to right now. If they can get rid of those first 60 seconds, this is only a 14-point game. And IC Catholic would only have about a 200 to 135 yard advantage in total yardage. So IC Catholic has played extremely well in the first half. Take nothing away from what the Knights have done. They have earned a 29-0 lead. But Carlinville has to be happy with the way they had a couple of long drives, a 16-play drive, a 10-play drive. They've continued to ride Jacob Dixon. He's got 79 yards on the game, and that's what you've got to continue to do in this second half. Stick with the game plan. We heard Coach talk about it just before we went to break. How do you stop Jordan Rull? You try and keep him boxed in. You try and keep him inside the tackles. Let your big defensive linemen pound on him and maybe stop him for 2 or 3 yard gains instead of those big yardage chunk plays. But I don't think we're going to see another 29-0 half here. I think Carlinville has kind of figured things out late in this first half, and they're going to get moving here pretty soon.
They'll get their hands on the ball first here as we start the third quarter. Carlinville 12-1 on the season. Chad Easterday said, you know, we were the underdogs each of the last 3 games. They are definitely up against it here, and they will be in a tough spot on that sideline. Boy, Sam Boffo, the kicker for IC, has really put that ball exactly where he has wanted to tonight. No big plays coming off the kickoff.
He's been a huge weapon for them. I don't think they've gotten more than 4 or 5 yards in a kickoff return. I mean, that's a big weapon to have when you've got a kicker who can put it exactly where you want it there. And the Carlinville returner there just kind of looked lost. He had no idea where to go. It was right on the sideline. Kyle Dixon had no choice but to just put his head down and try and get a couple of yards before he's met by a few IC Catholic Knights.
There's Buffo, 5'11", 160-pound senior. He'll take a little breather, let his defense come on the field, and Carlinville will try to move the chains once again. And that will get about 5.
There's Jacob Dixon falling forward for a couple of extra yards. It's amazing what that will do for an offense, just falling forward instead of falling backwards. I mean, it seems like such a small thing to teach a running back to do. But if you can teach a running back after first contact to fall forward instead of stop their momentum and stop their feet and fall backwards, it's amazing how many extra yards you can pick up after contact.
Kyle Dixon. He'll be tough to bring down. I'll make that Jacob. That was Jacob Dixon. That's his 22nd carry here tonight. He's inching up towards that 100-yard mark. He's about at 85 right now, and a very workable third down here for Carlinville.
It's third down and 1 at the 55-yard line.
I have the feeling that Dixon could carry this ball 50 times in a game. So strong. And number 3, and that will be very close, maybe a bit short. Well, let's see the spot of the ball. Actually, he's going to power forward. He did more than just fall down. He drove forward. That's a first down. Way out to the 37.
Michael Johnson makes the initial contact for the Knights. But like we've talked about, Jacob Dixon just keeps on churning.
You know, Dixon in the 4 games leading up to this one, almost 1,200 yards rushing in those 4 playoff games.
Now they get him the ball on the outside. You see him on the little swing route, catching one and getting about 6 or 7 yards. He's a threat all over the field.
He was a wide receiver last year, and of course when he gets to his senior year, they just wanted him to get the touch, get a few more touches. And as Chad Easterday said, you know, if you play running back at Carlinville, you just wait in line.
Yeah, there's a waiting list, he said. Yeah, you can't get on the field until your senior year, and this was Jacob Dixon's time to get on the field, so they moved him from wide receiver to running back, and what a season he has had. What a career he's had in just one season at running back, over 3,000 yards.
And he is touching the ball each of these plays here to start this third quarter. This was a Carlinville team that had a goal to play 14 weeks. That was their goal. And people may say, oh, is that saying you're conceding the championship game? No. Once you get here, then anything happens. But the idea is to get here first. So their goal has been met. This is their 14th game of the year. They've won 12 of them. Chisholm to the outside, will never get to the edge.
Dylan Chisholm on the ball.
Matt Jordan, linebacker, met him first, 5'11", 170-pound senior.
Look at Matt Jordan just shoot this gap. A couple of Carlinville offensive linemen and also their tight end. That's Brady Eaglehoff trying to get to the edge. But Jordan uses his speed to shoot the gap and get into the backfield, bring Chisholm down for a loss. 4th down for Carlinville.
We talk so much about the offense for IC. This defense only giving up 7 points per game, and they get a block here on special teams. So special teams have played big so far here today. It was a kickoff that was recovered, onside kick if you will, and now a block, this one by Ricky Misselwick. He'll stay on the field and play some offense.
That's the danger you take if you're going to have your quarterback try and punt the ball for you. He's only at about 7 yards deep. And so by the time he takes a couple of steps, he's only about 5 yards away from the line of scrimmage. And when you've got a big guy like Misselwick at 6'1", 275, putting a big paw up there, I mean, 9 times out of 10, he's going to get to that ball.
IC to start from their 37. On the run, the completion to Sutton, a gain to the 31, pickup of 6. That pass complete to Khalil Saunders. Saunders with an interception today set up a touchdown, third touchdown of the day for IC. Not much of a hole, and the Carlinville defense will surge forward. Eaglehoff in there. You got some help by Nate Thompson, defensive tackle. And you see number 25, Dylan Chisholm as well. 3rd and short. Room to the outside. That's a first down with a flag down. And that first down may come back.
I think they're going to get IC Catholic on holding. I think what sprung Jordan Rowell to the outside of that formation was a hold by the left tackle.
That's 2 that we've seen go around that left edge, resulting in a holding call.
Number 77, Elmhurst, 10-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
Well, Ricky Misselwick has gotten his name called a couple of times here in the last minute.
Isn't that funny how things work out? You make a great play on defense, and then you get the penalty called on you on offense.
Bill Kreft, very calm, confident. His 5th season at IC, 41 wins, 15 losses in the 5th season. Now a 3rd and long. Rickabeen waits, dumps it off, enough for the first down. Just short of the 20-yard line. Once again, he finds Khalil Saunders. That goes for 15.
I think you used the phrase in the first half, Dave. It was poised by Luke Rickabeen. Look how long he waits for that play to develop. He knows that Saunders has a very long route to run across the middle of that defense, but he's very patient, waits for Saunders to come open, and then hits him right over the middle of the defense.
Uh-oh, trouble here for Carlinville. Rowell, he's not touched. Touchdown, IC.
Touchdown.
22 yards, 3rd touchdown pass of the night for Rickabeen. The 3rd touchdown scored by Jordan Rowell.
Catches this one after running the first 2. and Miss Lewick is out there. So he makes a great play on defense, and then he gets the holding call, and then Miss Lewick out in front springs the touchdown for Jordan Rawle.
So once again, special teams leads to a touchdown. It's 35-0.
Buffo to attempt the extra point.
Buffo for the extra point. And we have a flag thrown before that foot meets ball. That drive.
It's a dead ball foul. Dead ball foul. Encroachment number 87.
Goes against Carlinville. 4 plays, 37 yards. Only took 92 seconds.
Penalties declined. We'll replay the try.
So IC said, you know, we'll just do it from where we're at. Extra point coming from the 10-yard line. And yet another one for Sam Buffo. Yet another touchdown for IC. They have scored 5 times today. They score in their opening possession. Here in the third quarter, Rickabine to Rowell for 6. Tonight on CSN, the Johnsburg Skyhawks will try to cap off a perfect season with a Class 4A state title as they battle the 12-1 Rochester Rockets in their high-powered offense. And then tomorrow morning at 10, the drama continues as the top teams in Classes 5 through 8A play it all on the line in their pursuit of a state title. You can watch every game on air and online at csnchicago.com or on the NBC Sports app. Dave Bernhardt along with Chris Highland here in a 36-0 lead for IC, and we've seen a few mistakes here. Chris, from Carlinville, boy, you just don't have much margin for error.
No, when you're playing such a good team like IC Catholic, you have to play the near-perfect game. Carlinville has the ability to do that, but today just is not their day. They've made a couple of mistakes on special teams. They can't get anything going on offense, and against a good team like Elmhurst IC, they're going to take advantage of it.
Yet another short kickoff return. Carlinville's been pretty much stuck in this position all night long in the field in order to start drives. They've had a couple of extended ones. They had a 16-play drive in the second quarter. Adam Walton, the quarterback. Walton tonight 7 of 12 for 53 yards throwing the ball. Cavaliers will stay on the ground. They will go to Jacob Dixon. You know, and why not? Dixon is senior. Just keep feeding the man. It's going to be his last carries in a high school uniform.
Absolutely. If I'm a running back and I'm a senior and we're down 36-0, I'm still telling coach, give me the ball. I want the ball in my hands. I've got 3,000 yards this year. I can get it done.
At about 5 on first down. Walton throwing on a run. Nice catch. Fingertip grab. Good enough for a first down. Completion goes to Brady Jamison. For Jamison, that is his first catch of the night. He came in with 40 receptions for 688 yards and 9 touchdowns.
Sutton keeping his eyes downfield the whole time. Locks in on Jamison and throws a strike to the big man. 6'4", 190 pounds. He's kind of the go-to guy for Adam Walton.
Jamison, all-conference basketball player at that 6'4" height. Again to the right side. Kyle Dixon. At about 7. You see Kyle Dixon, 5'11" sophomore, has some good wheels, great athlete, had a couple of interceptions against Williamsville in the second round. If you're standing in line to be a running back at Carlinville, it might be Kyle Dixon's turn to step up.
It might be. I mean, Dylan Chisholm and his brother Jacob Dixon both graduating after this season. The younger Dixon boy looks like he's in line to be the next apparent heir to the Carlinville running back throne.
The number 1 man right there, Jacob Dixon, will get it again. I don't even think he's breathing hard. And for Dixon, that becomes his 26th carry of the night.
He takes a lot of hits. He bounces off most of them. And other than that one play where Coach Easterday had to peel him off the turf, I tell you what, he hops up every single time. And he only stayed out for one play after that little brief injury timeout.
Ball in IC territory. To the near side, nifty little move there. The reception made by Blake Richardson. Now you can see this offense, Carlinville, why they average 44 points. And again, on the other side, defensively for IC, this is nothing new. 8 shutouts on the season, 8 shutouts in 13 games for this IC Catholic defense.
And today they've kind of had the bend but don't break mentality. 16-play drive, 10-play drive. This is quite a long drive that Carlinville is putting together. You know, they've gotten down there, but they haven't really gotten that close to the end zone.
Once again, Richardson will be thrown down by Matt Sutton. Sutton had that great touchdown reception to open this spot. Spectacular way to get started in the first minute of this game.
Sooner or later, if you were Carlinville, you're going to have to start to pick up the pace a little bit on offense. They're a no-huddle team. They get straight to the line, but they do spend some time looking at the sideline, trying to get guidance. They're going to have to start to pick up the pace a little bit here.
Well, third time not a charm, as Richardson a bit high and away for him to handle. How about Blake Richardson in that 76-19 win in the first round over East Altonwood River? 2 interceptions for touchdowns. And this will become the 8th play of this drive. It will be a 4th down play.
You have to imagine that the frustration is building on the Carlinville sideline because, as you mentioned, that round 1 playoff game, 76 points, that's a 3A playoff record that they set in that game, and they're still shut out here in the state championship.
Intercepted at the 22-yard line. Room to run up the middle. Sutton will take it across midfield. It's the 2nd interception of the day for IC, and it will end that Carlinville drive.
Matt Sutton with a big play on offense to start the game, and now with a big play on defense. Looks like the IC Catholic defense was playing a bit of cover 2. Sutton playing that safety position, steps right up as Eaglehoff tries to run that skinny post route. I don't think Adam Walton ever sees Matt Sutton as he steps into the throwing lane, picks that ball off and runs it back to midfield.
We have seen that every mistake Carlinville has made has been jumped on by the Knights. Rickabine, stop and go. That was thrown into coverage. Right there was Jacob Dixon on the coverage. The intended receiver was Brendan Russ.
Russ almost comes back to that ball a little bit too much. It goes over his head, but I think it was a good ball thrown by Rickabine. As you see here, Russ kind of runs that wheel route. You can't see the beginning of the route, but see how he tries to come back to that ball and kind of into Jacob Dixon, the defensive back. I think if he stays down the sideline and just kind of drifts, I think that ball is going to fall right into him.
Second and 10. And that one's intercepted. Picked off by Kyle Dixon. Dixon will stumble inside the 35-yard line.
Just talking about Kyle Dixon and the big interceptions that he has come up with in the playoffs for Carlinville, and he gives the Cavaliers life here late in the 3rd quarter. Luke Rickabine with his first real mistake of the day. He's got his eyes locked on Saunders the entire time, and Dixon slips right in front of the wide receiver to pick that ball off, and he's off to the races. Rickabine actually with a touchdown-saving tackle after he makes the mistake. A good job by the quarterback to bring down Dixon, because there's nothing but green grass between Dixon and the end zone there.
Carlinville right back at it where they were just moments ago. Short pickup there for Dixon.
Those are the kinds of plays that Carlinville needed in the first half to really stop that IC momentum. Is it a little too late? I don't think so. I mean, this team can score in a hurry, and they can score in bunches, but they're going to have to do it pretty soon. Regardless, a huge play by Kyle Dixon.
Gain of a couple for Jacob Dixon. He'll head to the right side. And all of a sudden you see that IC defense a little fired up after Carlinville with the pick.
Yeah, I think they were woken up by that one right there. A quick change, and they have to come back on the field, try and defend some field position. Kimon Reese on the backside pursuit, tracking down Jacob Dixon, brings up a 3rd and long for Carlinville.
Walton in trouble. Down he goes. Number 77. We've called his, this has been his quarter, right? Ricky Misselwick. There's number 50 as well, Jimmy Keneally. Those two anchor the defensive line. Here's Adam Walton.
Trying to sprint out. And yeah, you see Keneally's the first one to get a hand on him. And pursuit coming from his friends, especially Misselwick right there. A smart play by Walton just to kind of tuck it after Keneally gets a hand on him.
This ball will roll down at the 10-yard line, 31 yards. And for the second time in this game, IC will have to start from their own 10. You know, we saw Jimmy Keneally there. We talk about what a great offensive, defensive lineman. How about this? Keneally's the student council president, the vice president of the National Honor Society. He's co-editor of the school newspaper. He's also a commended student in the 2017 National Merit Scholarship Program.
Oh, and between all that, he's got time to go to football practice.
Well, and he has to answer to his dad, Jim, who is a linebacker and special teams coach.
It's a very smart IC Catholic team. We were talking to Coach about, you know, where are these guys going to go play football in college? They all probably want to play football, right? Such a good football team. He said, no, a lot of these guys want to go be doctors, architects. He said they don't have football on the mind. They want to be, you know, they want to make a difference in this world, and good for those guys. You know, you got Robert Vitek, who plays both ways on the defensive and offensive line. He got a 36, perfect 36 on his ACT.
That is one of the tenets of this program, is they want to build character. They want to build citizens who will contribute at the next level in life. And they make no secret about that. On 2nd and 7. Rowell will set up a third and about 4.
Rowell again.
This Carlinville defense has been fairly stingy here in the third quarter. Yes, they have given up a touchdown, but they've been able to contain Jordan Rowell inside the tackles. His touchdown was actually on that swing route, that swing pass, when he did get outside. So credit to Coach Kreft getting Rowell the ball other than inside the tackles. But this Carlinville defense has done a very good job here in this third quarter.
Sutton with that catch, and depending on the spot, he will be first down. And it'll come back just a little bit, but it will be another first down for IC, their 18th of this game. Over 320 yards on offense now for the Knights as we approach the final 90 seconds of the third quarter. 4 touchdowns in the first quarter, in the third for IC Catholic. 3 of those 5 touchdowns, make that 2 of the 5, came after special teams miscues by Carlinville. Rowell to the outside, makes the cut. Jordan Rowell on his feet, and now you've got to catch him. It is not going to happen. He's pulling away. Rowell, his 3rd touchdown run, make that his 4th overall touchdown with 3 touchdown runs. And that lead now jumps to 42-0. 78 yards on that run from Rowell.
So this one starts inside the tackles, and Dylan Chisholm has a chance to bring down Jordan Rowell, but he can't do it. And once he gets outside of that tackle box, and he's one-on-one with a couple of the smaller defensive backs for Carlinville, they're not going to be able to bring him down by themselves. He breaks a few more tackles, and he is off to the races, and you can't catch Jordan Rowell once he's out in the open field. You talked about it. The kid's got 9 medals in state track and field in the sprints. I don't think anybody on the field today is going to be able to catch him.
43-0. IC will take a look back at how Jordan Rowell made this happen. Great blocks up front, and now it's all number 35.
Yeah, the offensive line for Elmhurst IC just crunches the right side of that Carlinville defense, and Jordan Rowell is able to make that jump cut right there. Right there, he makes that jump cut, and he's able to get by one would-be tackler, and then he breaks the tackle of Chisholm, and he is off to the races.
His 24th carry of the day. He now has 256 yards. That's rushing with 3 touchdowns. He also has a couple of catches for another touchdown. There it is. Big night for the senior. And that's nothing new. This is what he has done all season long. And now we've reached the point in the ball game that a lot of teams do not want to be in, and that would be a running clock. This game is across the 40-point margin, and so this clock will run continuously through the rest of this game. The 25-yard line, and another 2-yard gain on a kickoff. Right now, Jordan Rowell 1 yard short of setting a Class 3A state championship game record for rushing. Fans on the near side for IC came to Champaign with expectations of what they're seeing right here. They've been a dominating team in Class 3A. Jacob Dixon cut down after a 2-yard pickup.
Jacob Dixon, the ball carrier.
4 touchdowns in the first quarter, 2 here in the third. IC 43-0 lead, bidding for the school's 3rd state championship. After 3, the Knights rolling. Wednesday night, Jimmy Butler, Dwayne Wade, and the Bulls eye their 2nd win this month over the LA Lakers. You can stream it all on the NBC Sports app beginning at 6:30 with Bulls pregame live, presented by Coors Light. Familiar face right there, it should be. 7-year NFL veteran, ESPN analyst. He was my partner for a couple of weekends up here at the state finals. That's Matt Bowen. He is in his 3rd season as a defensive back coach here at IC Catholic, and his guys have picked off a couple of passes today. And interesting when you talk to Bill Kreft, how he raves about how Matt Bowen teaches the game.
Yeah, you know, this IC Catholic offense has been prolific today, but this defense has been just as good. They've pitched a shutout so far. And you're right, he raves about Matt Bowen and this defensive coaching staff. Roger Kelly, his defensive coordinator, he says, we just have to keep it simple for these kids. The game plan is very simple. It doesn't change. We let these kids play, but he can't stop talking about how Bowen and Kelly teach the game of football to this defensive side of the ball for IC Catholic.
You know, on the other side, Matt Bowen has high praise for Bill Kreft. He said that Kreft reminds him of some NFL coaches he's played for in the way he handles situations.
That's very high praise from a guy who's been around the league and been around the game for quite a long time.
You know, and Matt just truly loves coaching high school kids. In fact, like I said, I worked with Matt on a couple of state finals a couple of years ago and talked to him before we got started one evening, and Matt just said, you know, someday I'd like to coach high school football. That's where it really happens, on Friday nights. He said it is better than college, it is better than the pros, and he's going to be assistant coach here in about 10 minutes on a state championship team. Matt Bowen and the IC Catholic Knights, a 43-0 lead in the 4th. The 2016 IHSA Football State Championships are brought to you by Country Financial. Country Financial will help you build a plan with insurance and financial solutions to help you get to where you want to go. Call your local rep at 1-866-COUNTRY or visit countryfinancial.com. Great to have you with us, Dave Bernhardt, along with Chris Highland, in a 3A game that has gone the way a lot of folks had expected. IC Catholic flexing their muscles both offensively and defensively here tonight. New quarterback in the game for IC. It is CJ West, a junior, 6'2", 190-pounder, and there is Dylan Chisholm playing his last high school football game for Carlinville.
Steps up and makes a big play in the backfield, brings up 2nd and 11 for IC Catholic, who seems to have a fresh set of backs and offensive linemen in the game here in the 4th quarter.
And they will have to make the most of their opportunity. This clock will run continuously. There are a few exceptions. Nice stop by West. He gets it to Lazarick Eatman. Eatman with a flag down, and he goes down out of bounds. And again, we've seen this, what, 3 or 4 times, whether it's the starters or the reserves, the holding call on the outside edge.
Well, it looks like this one is going to be brought back.
Penalties, that is the 5th penalty tonight.
Holding, number 55, Elmhurst. Replay second down, 10-yard penalty, spotted foul.
Number 3, Luke Rickabine, is going to watch the final moments of this game, but how about the way he got things started? A 35-yard touchdown pass in the first minute of this game, added a TD pass to Rowell in the 3rd quarter. Just a very efficient night for Rickabine, 9 of 17, 142 yards and 3 touchdowns.
It's a heck of a night by the 2 All-Staters in the backfield for IC Catholic.
On the ground to the near side. And Rowell, that should be enough to get him a 3A championship record. And I have a feeling that's what they knew.
I was just about to say that, Dave. Before that play, I said, I don't think we're going to see Jordan Rowell again in this game. Unfortunately, he might come up 1 yard shy of a 3A state championship game record, but Coach gets him in there for 1 or maybe 2 more plays. He's able to surpass that record. Good for Jordan Rowell, 261 yards rushing in the 3A state championship game.
We have to go all the way back to 1990. Hickey Thompson for that previous record. And that record is going to be pushed up for somebody in the future to have to try to match. Rowell gets the call there.
Get him 1 more run just for good measure, just to make sure that he gets that record. Now it looks like he will come out and be replaced by Eatman, as you hear the IC Catholic fans giving Jordan Rowell a huge round of applause as he heads to the sideline.
Well, those last 2 carries were just to make sure that he was going to get his name in that 3A record book.
And it's much deserved.
Fourth down and 8 with the little kick once again, and Carlinville will have it near their 40-yard line. They're looking for points here in the final 7 minutes. And very happy for their teammate. Well, in about 10-15 minutes is when his decision-making will start as to where he would like to play his college football next season. And the folks that are not worried about that, but are worried about a 4A championship game, Johnsburg and Rochester, they are itching to get onto this field. That's your game coming up next here on CSN. Around the left side with the carry is Garrett Campbell, junior running back, as Chad Easterday has brought some new numbers into this ball game.
Down by James Litton.
And the quarterback who handed it off to him was Jared Easterday, the sophomore quarterback for Carlinville now into this game. He played a lot last year as a freshman because Walton was hurt. He had to come in and play some significant games, gained a lot of experience. They had a bit of a quarterback competition at the beginning of this year. Walton won it, but Easterday, a very good quarterback in his own right.
Yeah, he was a tough adjustment, according to his dad, the head coach of Carlinville, in terms of, hey, Dad, I played all last year. It took him a while to make that adjustment, like, okay, you're going to back up the senior this year, and then, of course, it will become his team next year. You know, we didn't really get a chance to talk about Adam Walton. We talked about him being injured. How about a horrible year last year for injuries? 2 broken collarbones for the starting quarterback. Point played a little more than 1 complete game. He broke it in the 4th quarter to the first game, came back in week 7, and then broke it in the 2nd quarter. That's why Easterday had a chance to play a lot of downs last year.
Well, and good for Walton to be able to come back this year and lead his team to the state championship game, and I'm sure that Jared Easterday is going to have gained a wealth of knowledge in these 14 weeks, sitting behind Walton, learning a bit, and being able to now take control of this team next year. It will be his team, and I think Carlinville is in very good hands with Easterday. And while this might not be the score that you want as the Carlinville head coach, or even, you know, Bill Kreft to see 43-0. I'm sure he loves it, but this is a great opportunity for both of these coaches, as you have seen in these last couple of drives, to get everyone into this football game. This is high school football. This is grassroots of this game, and it brings a lot of joy to everyone in this stadium to be able to see every single player with a jersey on their back on either sideline get into this game and be a part of such an unbelievable experience.
And this is where it's tough for the coaches as well, is to get as many bodies in as you can with the clock running as quickly as it is.
And it's a terrible position for Chad Easterday to be in, to, you know, kind of let things go and say, okay, it's time for me to pull my starters out. You hate to see those starters like Jacob Dixon for Carlinville come off to the sideline, as you see IC Catholic get a big gain there, but you never want to see guys like Walton and Dixon come off the sideline and you have to pull them out of the game. But you know what? These guys who are on the sidelines, who have been to practice every single day, who have been to every single game with you, deserve their moment on this big stage as well.
Daniel Gibbons with the 19-yard run on first down. CJ West, the second series that he has run at quarterback. Another nice catch there by West. Well, if this score holds at 43-0, here's the one thing that Carlinville defensively hangs their hat on. This will be the second lowest point total that IC has scored this season. In the opener, the Knights scored 34 against defending 3A state champions Bishop McNamara. That is the lowest, and this would be number 2.
Which is incredible to me, that IC Catholic has scored more than 43 points in almost every single game they have played. But I mean, Carlinville has played well at times in this game. They've given up some huge plays, the last one in particular, the last touchdown to Jordan Rowell. But they have been stingy on defense at times. This is just a extremely high-powered offense that you are playing in IC Catholic.
And another big game. This one comes from Jake Litton. Remember, he had the recovery, the sophomore had the recovery on the kickoff early in this ball game that set up the next touchdown play, or second touchdown of the game for IC. Remember, it was 29-0 at the end of the first quarter, 15-0 at the end of the first 60 seconds. Coming up next, Rochester and Johnsburg, 4A championship. Johnsburg here for the first time. Rochester coming here for the 6th time in 7 years. They had a string of 5 straight state championships, ended last year in the quarterfinals.
That's such an interesting matchup, a tale of 2 completely different teams, someone who's never been here before and someone who's so used to being here.
Litton to the outside, a flag is down as he gets inside the 5-yard line.
Jake Litton on the carry. Back by number 1, Will Walton.
So we sit right now, 467 yards of offense for IC tonight, 190 for Carlinville.
This one here, holding number 24, Elmhurst. 10 yards from the spot of foul, remains first down.
Maybe 1 or 2 plays to be run in this 3A championship game.
It looks like the starters are back in the game for these last few snaps. Luke Rickabine, the junior, all-state quarterback, will have the ball in his hands as the Knights take a knee to run out the clock on their 3rd state championship in school history. What a team, what a season this has been for IC Catholic.
The eyebrows were raised after week 1 when IC defeated the defending 3A champs 34-0. They had their eyes on that trophy the next week when they defeated St. Lawrence 63-49. That's when everybody in the state said, look out for the Knights from Elmhurst. One more snap. And for IC, champions in 2002, in 2008, and here again in 2016. They'll bring home that first place trophy. Your final 43-0 over Carlinville, and look out, Coach Kraft. You don't think that's been planned for a few weeks?
And he could care less how cold that water is right now. I bet he can't feel a thing. Congratulations to Coach Kraft and the IC Catholic coaching staff and players on their 3A, impressive 3A state championship win.
I think he does feel it.
And maybe he does now. You're right. It might have taken a few seconds to set in, but I think he is starting to feel it.
You know, the one thing when you see teams like this come to a state championship ball game with all the hype is you think, are we going to see the real team that has been playing through 13 weeks? Well, you saw it today. This was IC Catholic, what they have done here in the 2016 season.
Yeah, coaches are always nervous when you get on a big stage like this if your team's going to have a letdown. And you could tell after the first 60 seconds that Elmhurst IC was not going to have a letdown today. They came out guns blazing, 2 touchdowns in the first 60 seconds, and they never looked back.
And they are going to be celebrating a state championship for some time in Elmhurst. They're going to pick that up in just a bit after a 43-0 win over Carlinville. The 2016 3A championship game is officially in the books. And IC Catholic 43-0 winners over Carlinville here on a cool night in Champaign. Dave Bernhardt along with Chris Highland. Time for our Wintrust play of the game. Who else? Number 35, Jordan Rowell here in the first quarter.
That really broke the game wide open. It was 15-0 before that run by Jordan Rowell. He uses his speed to get to the pylon. We saw that speed later in the game with a long touchdown run. What an impressive night for that man right there, who will have his pick of colleges to go to in just a couple of days.
Well, if you keep looking at that scoreboard, Jordan, you're going to find out that you are our Country Financial Player of the Game. And look at those numbers. Those are 3A championship game record numbers.
I mean, there was no really other choice for this other than Jordan Rowell. I mean, what an impressive performance by this young man. So strong, so fast, and all-around great player.
There is the Carlinville Cavaliers shutout here on championship night. Our trophy presentations tonight are brought to you by Menards.
Glad to see that even some of those captains, and when they get that medal put around their necks, have a little bit of a smile on their face. Yes, it's not the outcome or the medal that you wanted, but you know what? You have to be proud, and I think in a couple of days, after the newness of this wears off, you'll be able to look back at this season and say, you know what? This was one memorable run for the Carlinville Cavaliers.
And there is pride there. The goal at the beginning of the year was to play 14 games. And then in week 4, as you mentioned earlier, Chris, the goal was let's go 9-0 and then get into the playoffs. Week 4, a loss to Pana. It was like they had to start over. And that starting over may have been a key, according to Chad Easterday. 4 times Cavaliers been knocked out in the second round of the playoffs. It was almost as if the season started in week 5.
Yeah, he said that we might have actually gone through some things in week 4 with that loss that we might not have been able to go through, some adversity that made us stronger. And you hear a lot of coaches say that nowadays. They don't mind going into the playoffs with a loss because your team knows how to fight through a little bit of adversity. And they certainly did that against Pana. And so for this team to rally and come all the way to this state championship game, your hats go off to Carlinville and Coach Chad Easterday.
See a nice act of sportsmanship as Carlinville coming off the podium and IC going there, the players congratulating each other, mutual respect, and why not? You know, you study film for the entire week, and you learn to respect the people opposite you and their capabilities, and then when you get onto the field, as you will know through your years of playing football, and most recently at Illinois State, you respect that person across the line from you.
Absolutely. I mean, everyone out here is giving everything they've got. Granted, when you're in between the white lines, there might be some things said or some players that do some things that you might not agree with or you might think are dirty or wrong, but you know what? Everyone is pulling on the same rope for one common goal. And so you have to have respect for the guys in those white uniforms if you're Carlinville, because they laid it all out there on the line today and they deserve that first place trophy in 3A that they're holding now.
IC Catholic, third time in their history. They will lay that in their trophy case, the third first place trophy. It comes in the 3A state championship here in 2016, a dominating 43-0 win over Carlinville, capping off a perfect 14-0 season. The thing that's nice to see as well, they came in as favorites. They were favorites in nearly every game they played this season. Once they got past weeks 1 and 2, they still appreciate the moment. Touchdown runs from Jordan Rowell, 3 of them, along with a touchdown pass reception from Rowell. 29 points in the first quarter, record-setting numbers for Rowell. And it all adds up to a 43-0 win for IC Catholic, a perfect 14-0 record. They have that first place trophy. It's going home to Elmhurst.
IC Catholic Prep takes the 3A state title in a close game? No. Not at all.
You know, and again, you feel for Carlinville. Here's a team that, I mean, a terrific season. You talk about character, and you look at how they played the second half. You know, they played a pretty decent second half here. They really hung in and kept battling, and you know, outside of one regular season loss, all through the playoffs, you know, it didn't come easy for them. They battled everybody every round, and you know, able to get to a state final. Again, they're not feeling good right now, but bottom line is they'll feel better in a few days.
We definitely have to touch on Jordan Rowell and his record-breaking performance. He broke the former rushing record, which was 257 yards, held by Althoff, a player from Althoff, in 1990. And now he finishes with 270 yards in a game. What a performance.
Don't kids kind of dream about that when they go into a state final game, where you want, you know, you dream about the big game and bringing the trophy home? And well, that's Jordan Rowell tonight. Just again, an amazing athlete, an amazing performance, and you know, you have to be absolutely thrilled for him and everybody at IC.
Definitely. There was also great defensive performance from these guys, interceptions that changed the momentum of the game throughout the game. We definitely have to not only give credit to Rowell and the impressive, obviously, offensive performance, by the Knights, but also the defense. I mean, they held them scoreless. Yeah, I mean, you look at up front. I mean, it always starts up front, and again, you've got, you know, coach
just
taking in the moment. Coach
hanging out, and you know, got a kid on his shoulders and hugs, and that's what it's all about. You know, you're getting a chance. It's a community event. It's a you know, the IC community is out, and just a great thing to see. And the IC community, we talked to Coach, you know, before this week, and he talked about the community in Elmhurst, and it's definitely a close one. This team volunteers, they work with programs in the Elmhurst area, so this community has fully supported them, and their coaching staff, obviously, as you just saw, head coach there embracing the people who have followed them the entire season. And it's important to Bill Kreft. I mean, someone who played in that 2002 state championship game. Now he's a coach of that's a very exclusive club as a player and as a coach, and again, a lot of alumni tied in as well. So great for that entire community. A very impressive win by the Knights, the third state championship in school history. We will be back with more action right after this. Our country financial game break, an impressive win by the IC Catholic Knights, 43-0 over Carlinville. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium, our nice studio here with a beautiful view behind us. I'm Annie Costabile alongside the Edgy Tim, the guy to know when it comes to high school football. I guess. I mean, you know, don't sell yourself short. It's great to be here. Don't sell yourself short. It's great to be here, and again, you get to witness a lot of things, and we're able to witness a record-breaking performance tonight. So again, by Jordan Rowell, and you know, just a heck of a way to cap off what, let's face it, Annie, it's a dominant season from Immaculate Conception. And again, just watching Raul and strong enough, being able to shake tackles, and you just can't tackle this young man high. He's so strong, and also just the speed to the outside here. I mean, believe me, that young man from Carlinville's going full bore. That speed, just being able to get him to the outside.
Yeah, his ability to break tackles, but also run along the outside, like you said, his quickness, but also his strength.
Well, and the patience there, watching his block set up, and again, just a great tribute of a back that knows when to read it, wait for his blocks, and can obviously explode once it gets to the hole.
You know, the score 43-0 and the impressive performance by him, a lot of people questioning, you know, was Carlinville an equal match? But I don't think we should take away from the record-breaking performance that we did see from Raul today.
No, again, this is the biggest stage in the state, and you know, the cliche, and it holds true a lot of the cases. Big-time players make big plays in the biggest games, and that's what Jordan did here. And again, you credit his offensive line. There's a lot that goes behind it, but again, just a fantastic performance for IC as well as Jordan Raul.
Well, we have Coach Bill Kraft and Jordan Raul coming into the studio in just a moment. But again, an impressive performance, and Coach Kraft talked about Jordan Raul all throughout the week, saying what an impressive player he is, and just everything that he means to the community. We've got all the players behind us.
Oh, look at these guys. Look at these knuckleheads out here. Hold that thing up.
Welcome, welcome. Impressive performance, guys.
Congrats. Thank you. Bill, congrats, pal.
Thank you very much.
We'll have you guys hold
the one.
What are you
doing? You get in here. You're center stage. We're live,
guys. We are
live
right now. We just want to say congrats on your 3A state championship. An impressive performance by you. Are you even aware that you broke a 3A state record here?
We were told that that was going to happen, and I wasn't 100% sure. They said 1 yard, and it's like, okay, 1 yard till. So I was excited.
When was the exact moment that you found out that you broke that record? That has been held since 1990, by the way.
When I came to the sidelines and I saw the camera come, I'm like, oh, I did something good. And then my whole team started bombarding me. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I broke the record.
You know, you guys beat this Carlinville team 43-0. This is how you've played against teams all year long. Going out with this win, what does it mean to this team?
I think it's just what they've done all year. You know, we took it one step at a time, and that's what they did in this game. They won each play. They came out from the start and really jumped on a really good football team that we were going up against, and kind of built up momentum and built off each other. It's the kids. They just keep building off each other and getting better and better. I wish we had more games to play.
But Bill, you're part of a very unique club. You're a player that won a state title on a state title team, and now you're a coach that's coached. I mean, it's got to feel absolutely amazing for you on several different levels.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be part of this team. This is a special group. I've never been a part of a team like this at all. Just happy to be along for the ride.
You couldn't ask for a better start to the game. I mean, you get the early turnovers, and momentum just absolutely a huge thing for this team.
For sure, different group of kids. They created all the opportunities that they get, you know, along the season. It's the entire, you know, the team. The team has created opportunities on special teams, on offense, on defense, and that's what they did today, and I'm very proud of them.
Jordan, Coach talked about the style this team has. You guys are at ease. You have fun out there. Watching you guys play today, that is completely what this team embodies. Being a part of this team, going out like this, what does it mean to you personally?
To me personally, my whole team, I have to thank my whole team for an amazing 4 years. You know, I wouldn't be here today, you know, at state without my team. So, you know, being here is like a dream come true. You know, especially with some stuff that's going on right now. You know, my grandpa couldn't be here because he has something going on with his eye, so every touchdown, every yard I made was for him, without a doubt.
You've talked so highly about this guy standing right here. What do you have to say about his performance tonight?
It's just typical Jordan. I mean, you're trying to talk about our group as a whole. I think that every single player on the team stepped up to a whole nother level tonight. I've been talking to them. We've been talking to them as a staff about being at 95% of what they could give, and we want the extra 5%. I think everyone on the field gave the extra 5% tonight.
Now, we know you had a record-setting performance, but this is a big performance right now. Why don't you name those 5 starting offensive linemen and help you get that record?
They're staring.
Come on, man. It's the biggest test you're going to have all year.
Right now, Jordan,
it's only live TV.
Up.
Don't worry about it, pal.
Robert Vitek, my favorite center. Ricky Misalik, my big chubby buddy. Dylan Packer, my crippled friend. Let's see. Jimbo's. Oh, come on. I can't forget about Jimbo's life. The Pancake King.
What?
And Keemon. Keemon, my best friend that grew up behind me for a while. Is that it?
Yeah.
All right.
You did good. I got 5.
Guys,
That's
such a fun game to watch, such a fun game to be a part of. Congratulations on your 3A state championship. Congratulations on your record-breaking performance. We will have more state championship action for you guys right after this.